And we're back with On the Record with Tiffany. Okay, Dr. Henrich. Now, I've picked your brain on some of your great departments and your fabulous doctors. I want to hear about you because it takes vision to look at what's going on today and what you need to do for the next 12, 24, 36 months. But then to build a program that has a breakthrough, like discovering a diabetic pathway that connects directly to chronic kidney disease. Being able to look at who's going to be on that team and how you're going to build the team. You know, you went and got one of the best mitochondrial doctors in the country and brought him here to put him on the team that you couldn't know that they were going to do that, but you had to envision that they might be able to do it, you know? Like, so how do you do that?
Well, two starting comments. One is that everything that we do that leads to success is dependent on a person. It's dependent on people.
Mm-hmm.
It's dependent on people who lead a project, but it's dependent on the teamwork that's encompassed in the project and the talented core of people who lead it. So in that example that you used, that was apparent. People who have had success before and who are passionate about their work.
And they are, I know those two.
I know you know the person you're talking about. But who are passionate about their work and who won't settle for less than a clear and incisive result are the people we want to add to our team, because that's our general philosophy. In general, the past, in the National Archives in Washington, there's on the proscenium of the building letters which read that the past is prologue. The reason we study the past, the reason the past is important to us is it foretells the future. And in someone's track record as a scientist, as an educator, as a clinician, if they've had an excellent record, then the odds are that in your favor that they will continue to contribute, because they're not doing it for any other reason than to advance science, advance clinical care, advance education. So what we try to do is to advance in missions by adding to our team, our talented team we have today, additional, as I said a moment ago, hands on the oar who can help us row with more strength, more vigor, and then get more successful. And we don't seek success for ourselves. We're seeking it for that reason I said at the beginning of our talk today, which is the public good. It means that if we can move research, move that needle, if we can move the clinical needle, if we can move the educational needle, it means we'll be doing more for the public good, which makes us more in alignment with what our founders wanted us to do. They wanted us to help the public, to lift them up. And through those three missions, we're trying to do it, and we need these talented people to do it. So I try to find people who are passionate and visionary and who have idea factories and who come at you with more energy than you can possibly contain. And once you get them to have some traction, it's wonderful. Patients benefit, patients' families benefit, the learners all get smarter.
Patients love you all. They love the doctors that care for them. No, I'm telling you that they do. Okay, I'll tell you a little thing about me. I'm kind of sneaky. You already know that. You know that a little bit. But one of the things that I do is I investigate. You know, my background is journalism. So I'll go and look around. Before I sign on with somebody and say, you know what, I just love Dr. Henrich. Before I ever made that statement, I investigated you, your team, to see what are they doing over there. You know, so I would go and chat up patients. How do you like it here? How's it going? You know, how are you being treated? And I think when I started to fall for UHS was through Dr. Cigarello. Because here's this guy who's, you know, world renowned. Like, truly, not just I adore him, which I do now. I didn't know him to begin with, but I was like, I'm going to check this guy out, see if he's worth his salt. You know, so I was over there trolling around, and I'd gone by his office, and there was a couple sitting in those two little seats, you know, like that they have right there outside of the ladies. And I saw them, and I went over and I was standing there talking to Ronnie, Dr. Cigarello's assistant. And Dr. Cigarello came out. So I'm standing there, and there's this little couple. And you know, she looks a little frazzled, and dad's clearly just gotten off from work, and the kid is like, you know. And Dr. Cigarello walked out. He looked at me. I had an appointment. They did. He looked at them. And he walked right over to them, picked up that child, and started talking to that child. And that is exactly what he should have done. And when I saw that, I started thawing towards him. So then, you know, I was still like, no, I'm going to investigate this place. You know, make sure this guy and all these people are doing, you know, they're nice to people even if they're the poorest of the poor. And that is exactly what the team does there. And difficult cases, you know, people that are difficult. Yeah. They are warm and generous and kind, even when in moments when a lot of other people would have just broke down and said, I'm done with this. You know?
Now, it's especially important to mention him. For example, I am in San Antonio because of Francisco Cigarello. He recruited
I didn't know
me.
that.
He recruited me here. I was in Maryland as the chair of medicine at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, and I was recruited here to be the dean of the medical school. When Cisco was the president of the institution, had the job I have now. So I had known one of Cisco's brothers, who was a physician for many years, and I'd heard about Cisco just in general conversations with the brother. But this was my first introduction to meeting him, and I came to San Antonio because of him, because he asked me to be the dean, and I knew that our partnership would be a strong one and would provide benefit to the institution if we could get going. And the story you recount about him is authentic and true, and replicated many times over. And if we as a group can replicate that behavior, if we can imitate that behavior with every person that we see, and if we can do it with the sincerity that he does it, then that public good that we've been talking about will be certainly fulfilled.
Well, you all do an excellent job of the public good, and you do that. When I first took on my role, I don't know if you remember this, but I hadn't been here very long, maybe like two months, maybe 2 or 3 months. And you and Dr. Sharma took me to a ball game, which I don't know why you did that because I don't know anything about basketball. But he took me to a ball game, and I knew one professional basketball player, Malik Rose. So I text Malik, and I'm like, you know what? I'm at this basketball game, and it's the team that you're from your hometown. I think it was Detroit, and the Spurs playing, and then the team that you played for. And he was like, who on earth would bring you
to a basketball
to a basketball game? Because you don't know.
Well, basketball.
You know nothing about basketball. Because I didn't even know who he was when I first met him. I was like, I had to look him up and figure this out. But anyway, you took me to that game, and probably like 2 weeks after that, I'd asked Dr. Siguro some questions about like what can we do better, what have we done, and what do you see as a need in our community? And he said, well, you need to do, and he was just 100% helpful, but tough, and you're the same way. Like when I asked the same question, because I basically just wanted to hear from different angles, what is it that our community needs? How can we be helpful? We're a local organization, so our scope should be something related to boots on the ground. You're not trying to do the same thing in terms of policy as a national organization, as like, we're the Texas Kidney Foundation, so you're not trying to do the same thing necessarily as the National Kidney Foundation, but you're trying to serve your community. And how are you to do that? And you gave me honest answers about what I could do and what was feasible in the scope of time that I had. And I will forever remain grateful.
You're very welcome. Thanks for your work with the foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, because I wouldn't be able to do it without your team. Your teams actually come in and volunteer with us. They, the boots on the ground thing, they go to the poorest neighborhoods with me. Like when I was like, I want to go to the poorest neighborhoods in San Antonio, and we're going to serve there. Everybody, there was not a single person on your team that cringed. Nobody cringed. Everybody was like, let's do it. When you want to do so, we're going to do it in rotation and teams. I mean, it was just wonderful.
Sure.
So I thank you for all that you do and for the vision that you have for our city and for healthcare and better health in our city. And I believe we're going to see the healthcare situation improve in San Antonio, and we'll lead the way in showing people how to do that with your vision and with some other key players. So
thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you for being here.
Wow.
And you've been listening to On the Record with Tiffany.